And I've worked with this person for about 10 years.
So when she was in the corner, that was a child part.
That very much a child. Yes. And that was her being, that was the child part being stuck in a situation where she was being abused. And I've had more than one client do this. So I'm thinking about 2 or 3 actually as we're speaking. But yes, those child parts, it was real for them. They were in 1970 something, in another place, feeling the exact feelings they were feeling when the event was happening, smelling the smells, seeing the room. It's all very real to them.
I mean, that experience, I mean, that's no joke. I mean, as a clinician, you've got to have your act together. And I could just imagine for newer clinicians, if something like that happens, I mean, like, what do I do? Well, what do you say? I mean, what was it like for you with like the first time that happened? I mean, you weren't equipped.
So I got to tell you this story because I love this story. Okay, so I'm in graduate school. It's 1987. It's 31 years ago. I'm in a class that's called Diagnosis and Assessment. We're looking at the DSM-3 at that time. That tells you how long ago it was. And the professor's telling us, well, there's this diagnosis called multiple personality disorder, because that's what it was called then. But I want you to know you're never going to see it. But we have to tell you about it, and it's going to be on your exam, so, learn about it. Okay, fine. So 87. So in 1990, I come to Tucson, and I'm working in a residential trauma and addiction treatment program. I'm running one of my first groups. I'm 28 years old. I have about 6 months of clinical work under my belt, right, of specific inpatient clinical work. And I have somebody in group, and she stands up, and she gets very angry, and she starts yelling, and I could tell that this was not her. She switched. It was another part of her. It was a terrified young part of her that was doing everything she could to protect herself. It was just obvious to me. And then I went to go get help. I said, I really hear that you're struggling right now. Like you said, I didn't know what the heck to do. It just kicked in. Intuition kicked in. And I said, I know you're struggling right now. I'm going to go get some help. And she went to the door. She said, no, you're not. Now, she was taller than I was. I'm 5'9". She was close to 6 feet. She was a big woman. And I went, oh, my God, what am I going to do? Right? Because she's blocking the door. So the other group members got scared, and I said, okay, we need some help here. This person's really scared. And I said, I know you're frightened. I'm going to ask you if we can breathe together, and I'm going to ask you if you'd be willing to just step to the side, just a moment. You deserve, and you have a right to get some help. She breathed with me for a moment, and she stepped to the side, and I opened the door, and I said, I need some help in here. And I had a couple of other therapists. I was lucky enough to be working in a unit where people were right there. A couple of other people came in who were more trained than I was and skilled than I was, and were able to work with her to get her more grounded and present and out of that scared child part. And I just went, whew. And I